Good morning, everyone. The snow is a-falling. The times are a-changing. But it's time for chill fun here on DSPGaming. Why on earth did that rhyme? I have no idea. I literally made that up on the fly. I don't even know what's going on. Welcome to the show. It's the Level 1 podcast for Sunday, the 10th of December, 2023. Hello, and welcome to the show. Broadcast live from the Mushroom Kingdom this morning, as you can see. And I hope that you all are in the holiday spirit. Happy holidays to all of you out there. Season's greetings, as they say. The countdown to Christmas continues. About 2 weeks. That's right. In fact, less than 2 weeks until my annual Christmas marathon right here on DSP Gaming. It takes place on Saturday, the 23rd of December this year, which I'm very excited for, of course. We got good stuff coming up this week. Tomorrow, a brand new playthrough you guys have been anticipating for months and months, so I'm excited for that. All kinds of stuff, but before we get to all of that, today, ladies and gentlemen, is React Day. That's right. Today is the one day a week where we do a fun React show on my sister channel, DSP Reacts, which can be found at youtube.com/@DSP Reacts. That's how you find it. And we break up all of the gameplay. You know, it's pretty much a non-stop gameplay around here, except for Sundays. So I enjoy that. I enjoy having variety of content and not just the same stuff every day. This is the second straight week where there's only going to be one stream. And I know that's crazy talk, but it's because of a good reason. You know, last week I dedicated my entire Sunday to reacting. The first half was my DSP versus the Internet clip show, and the second half was private React videos for my patrons. And I did over 2 hours of work there, only to have a giant hour-long video corrupt on me. And that sucked, because I tried to recover it. I tried to do everything I could. I tried to run it through a program to fix it. Nothing. And I'm like, ugh, so I got to redo it. Now, in the meantime, someone else also had desired to have a private video made for them, a patron. So tonight, I'm just going to take the time out to film that stuff. Plus, tonight, I'm also going to be filming a review of a holiday movie. Tonight, I will be filming my review of the classic Gremlins from 1984. And I will release that review also over on my React channel, DSP Reacts. So, lots of stuff going on today. Pretty much all for the React channel. So for those of you that love the gameplay and you were looking for more today, well, today is not the day for that. Today is the day where we split it up, okay? So hopefully you'll stick around and come back tomorrow when we're back to the gameplay, because tomorrow's a huge gameplay day, which we'll talk about in a moment as we get into the schedule. But yeah, every once in a while we break it up for variety purposes, and Sunday is the day when you're going to see that React content. Now, it's funny because I was thinking in my head... Excuse me. I was thinking in my head, oh, okay, so this is good. So after today, we can get back to regular scheduling, meaning Sundays will have double stream days again. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, next week for sure. Wait a minute. 2 weeks from today is Christmas Eve. And I am taking Christmas Eve night off from streaming to spend with my family. The way it works is every year I do a Christmas marathon. And this year it's going to be Saturday the 23rd. So I'll be here all day Saturday the 23rd doing festive stuff. And we'll talk about that in a bit. And then on Sunday the 24th, we're going to do one stream, all right, to celebrate Christmas Eve. And it's probably going to be the podcast. And we're going to do a holiday tier maker where we're going to rank holiday movies and specials, things that traditionally people watch around this time of year, against each other in a tier maker event. I haven't done a tier maker since the summer. Yeah, it's been that long. We were supposed to do one for Halloween, and it never happened because I was sick. So we're going to do that day and then just kind of chill. There'll be no late stream on Christmas Eve. And Christmas Day, ladies and gentlemen, no exaggeration, Christmas Day is the one day in the entire year where I don't have to do anything that's work-related. I don't have to run errands. I have no appointments. I just get to spend time with my wife all day long. We cook together. We do holiday-themed stuff together. We can't wait. Literally one day a year is coming up on Christmas Day. So, hopefully, you guys also have a great Christmas season, but that's what we've got in store for that week. So, I was thinking in my head, so next week I will do a double stream day on Sunday, but then the week after that, it's only one stream again. And then after that, we're into the new month, and I don't know when the next private, like, React videos will need to be filmed. I have to look into that, because 30 days, there's 31 days in December, right? So if that's the case, let's see. Okay, so if that's the case, probably December 31st, I will do 2 streams, and then the week after, so that would be, what, January 7th, would probably be the week when I only do 1, because I might need the night stream to do private React videos, depending. We'll see. But anyway, yes, I know, it's kind of weird. It's been kind of weird this month. Not having double stream days, at least once a week, is a little odd, but, you know, it's 'tis the season. There's weird stuff going on around here, right? But it's good stuff. I like doing the private React stuff. It just sucked that... it really screwed up last week. I mean, I put a lot of effort into that. When you're reacting to stuff, really, it's your first time honest reaction that's the best, right? If you've already seen something and you're doing a reaction again when you've already seen it, it's not truly genuine. And that's what sucks, is that there's nothing I can do about that. Now when I redo this React video tonight, I've already seen the stuff I'm watching in this hour-long video, so it's my second time reaction. It's not the genuine first reaction, you know what I mean? So it is what it is. But, all right. So, first of all, welcome to the show. I hope you're all having a great weekend, right? A great holiday weekend here. I am. Things have been going well around here. Yesterday was a great streaming day. Both streams went pretty good. First stream yesterday was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 Warzone 3.0. And it was only my second stream of Warzone, so I didn't know how it was going to go. Last time around, the highest placing I had, I want to say was 9th place, was it? I basically made top 10, and I was like, that's pretty good for a first session to make top 10 when I didn't know what the good weapons were. I didn't know the map at all. I really didn't even know the rules, like the gulag stuff and everything. I was just trying to learn it on the fly, and to get top 10 was pretty darn good. So my goal yesterday was to do better, or at the very least to make top 10 again. I feel like if I make top 10 when I play Warzone, I've kind of accomplished what I'm looking to do. Because the thing with Warzone is, a lot of it is just dumb luck. Yes, there's obviously skill involved, where you drop, how quick you loot, you know, your reactions to enemies when you see them, when you get the drop on them, etc. But there is a very large element of luck in the game as well. So, as long as I can make like a top 10, I feel like I've done my job. I've accomplished what I was looking to do during that particular Warzone stream. And of course, ultimately, I want to win some matches. So yesterday actually started off really rough, because the first, like, half an hour to 45 minutes, the connections were really bad. And it's hilarious because in Call of Duty, it'll show you your ping, and your ping is complete bullshit. It's not correct. It'll be like, 30 milliseconds. Then you'll see a guy, you'll shoot him a million times, then you'll die instantly. You'll look at his kill cam. On his kill cam, he shot you, and you never fired the gun once. Sounds a little off. How is it a 30 millisecond ping with two completely discrepant accountings of what happened. It doesn't make any sense at all. And of course, the answer here is that they didn't update the game at all. It's literally Warzone 2.0 with a new map and a few little tweaks. Same netcode, same servers, same everything. They didn't work to improve it. They just kept the exact same thing from last time, which also had issues. So if you get into a match with an incredibly low ping, like the match that I had 11 milliseconds, I was able to win firefights. I won in the gulag. Everything's fine. And then as soon as you get to that the laggier matches, like, forget it. You might as well just, you know, just hide the whole time. Never even try to fight anyone. You're never going to have a legit fight against anyone because it's so delayed. Anyway, the good news is, yesterday, only my second session of Warzone 3.0, I had multiple top 20 placings. I had multiple top 10 placings. So I upped my ante from the first stream. And in fact, ladies and gentlemen, I actually made top 3 in a match. Now, I'm not going to tell you how I placed, and I'm not going to tell you how it went down. I want you to watch. So the videos are live from yesterday, and it actually was pretty fun. I was having a good time with it, although admittedly sometimes it was annoying. So it depends, you know. I had a good time with it though, and it looks like in general people liked it too. But because of the schedule coming up, it looks like Warzone might become night streams now, and we'll talk about that in a minute because there's big schedule changes tomorrow per your requests. So, you know, let's chat in a second about that, all right? Anyway, last night, it was a very late-night chill stream of fun in Like a Dragon Gaiden. And I really like a Dragon Gaiden for 2 reasons. Number 1, because it is so similar and so familiar to the Yakuza series. When you play this game, you feel at home. It's like, wow, I'm a fan of Yakuza, and I play this game, and it's like, wow, it's like, welcome back, right? You're in this open world, you know, map, all these side quests popping up, fighting in the streets, upgrading your abilities, cool narrative. Every once in a while, you get sucked into this really, you know, dramatic, lengthy, interesting story. It's good. It's a good game, and if you like that style of game, very Japanese culture-centric, it's very enjoyable. So number 1, I love it because it is so immersive, and it's familiar. Number 2, I love it because this is definitely right now the game in my schedule that allows me to relax and interact with you guys. When I play Like a Dragon Gaiden, it's more about us having a chill time together while I'm doing things in the game, rather than, oh, we absolutely need to make such concrete progress in the game. So relaxing in the game last night was fun. We did a lot of side content. Then we went to a major story element for about 40 minutes and pushed ourselves from Chapter 2 into Chapter 3 of the game. The game has 5 chapters, by the way. The story is very short. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, so this is cool. You know, the story's advancing. Let's see where it goes. Immediately, the game opens up. Tons more side content. I was like, oh my god, seriously? Yeah, like an insane amount more side content opened up. And I was like, well, we might as well start doing this and run around. So we did for like another 40 minutes. We ran around and interacted with all the people in the town and did more missions and stuff. It was like, wow, very immersive and fun. So far, I mean, if you add it up, we've arguably done like 9.5 hours of side content and probably like 5 to 6 hours of story in this playthrough. I mean, there's that much. I mean, most of the game is side content. So, but I'm having fun, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you didn't, I'm sorry, but that's the style. You know, that's the cool thing about being a variety content creator and streamer, is that I put out different kinds of streams. You know, if you wanted action and you wanted survival, that's what Warzone is. If you want heated competition and rage, but also perseverance in a very big competitive atmosphere, that's what Street Fighter 6 is for, right? If you want a cool narrative-based shooter with RPG elements, that's what RoboCop right now is for. And so, you know, with the Like a Dragon Gaiden, that's the chill stream stuff. And I like that because we have different audiences that come in. Like right now, I see many of you here who weren't here last night or the night before, and it's like, I recognize you guys, but you're here for the podcast today, right? You want to get caught up on what's going on here. I like that, right? That's cool. That's not just the same crowd every game, and I don't have to play the same kind of game all the time to bring back my viewers. You guys are here for various different things, and I appreciate that, you know? That's why on a channel like mine, where historically we get between maybe, I don't know, 300 to 400 viewers a stream, we could have 600 members. Because in reality, it's not 300-400 viewers that watch my stuff. It's actually a couple thousand, but they're all here at different times. And that's awesome, okay? So, very, very good. And thank you all for that. I appreciate that. So that was yesterday. Let's now talk about the schedule moving forward this week, so you know what is going on, because, man, tomorrow's an exciting day. So today, it's React Day, as I stated. And React Day means that after this show ends, you're going to see a pop-up on your screen. And unlike last week where I screwed it up, and I apologize for that, I clicked the wrong thing. This week I clicked the right one. You'll see a pop-up on your screen. It's going to say, hey, everyone, head over to DSP Reacts. Phil's doing a new show over there. And it's DSP versus the Internet, my weekly clip show. Thank you to all the members over there who submitted clips for today. I will say this. Today's DSP versus the Internet show will be very holiday themed. There's a lot of holiday themed submissions. You know, Christmas / this season. That's good. I mean, we have this week, next week, and one more week. Think about this. We have this week, next week, and, oh, you know what we have? Oh, my God. I'm so dumb. Guess what? Christmas Eve. We're going to do a Christmas Eve React show. Holy crap, I totally forgot. Ha ha, wow, I'm stupid. We have a Christmas Eve React show to do. I forgot that Christmas Eve is on Sunday. So we're going to be doing reacting on Christmas Eve. That'll be the Christmas Eve show. It'll be the DSP Reacts Christmas Eve special. It's hilarious because I kept thinking, Christmas Eve, what are we going to do? Man, I don't know what to do on Christmas Eve. We have a show on Christmas Eve. Anyway, I totally forgot about it. So we still have today, next Sunday, and one more Sunday, Christmas Eve. We have 3 more weeks of holiday-themed reacting to do, which is excellent. I really like the holiday-themed React shows. It was really fun during October to do the horror stuff, and it's been really fun so far. Last week was really good, and I want to keep that momentum going, Christmas-themed stuff on the React show. I think it makes it more interesting to have a theme, you know? So, keep it rolling, good stuff, and I'm excited for how today will go on the React show. I think it's going to be a good one. The 23rd, the marathon is on the 23rd. Someone says, I thought you moved it to the 23rd. The marathon's the 23rd. Literally been saying this every day. Oh, my God. Anyway. So what that means is probably the Christmas marathon's going to be packed. We'll probably do a podcast. We'll probably play a game. We'll probably rank Christmas movies and specials in a tier maker. We'll probably have food. We'll probably play another game. Right? Then we'll probably do the schedule, because remember, there's going to be a schedule update during that day. Right? And then we're probably going to do like another game and a finale. Wow. The Christmas special is going to be jam-packed. We're going to have a lot to do on the Christmas marathon this year. Damn. There's a million things going on. Anyway, let's continue. So, React show today, I'm looking very much forward to it. Now, here's the thing about the React show. What you see below you is my leaderboard for this stream. Meaning this channel currently has 600 members. Thank you to anyone yesterday who supported the channel with some memberships. I really appreciate that, because we had lost over 40 memberships on my day off, and it was rough coming back. Like, oh my God, now we got to climb back up to 600. We've hit 600. Thank you for that. Okay? My goal is to keep above 600. So today, during this stream, if you want to support this channel, please consider becoming a member or getting some memberships. If we stay above 600, it'd be great. Since I'm only doing this stream on the channel today, 605 is pretty reasonable. Okay? But what you see down there also will apply to the React show. If we raise some tips this morning on the podcast here, those will carry over to the React show when it comes to tiered rewards and stuff like that. Okay? Now remember, the React channel is very different from this one. This channel, I put out a ton of content, right? Every day I'm putting out tons of videos. This video has, no exaggeration, over 13 years of content that people watch on demand every day. And even though this channel doesn't bring in the views it used to, I get residual views and residual attention. I do make ad revenue on this channel. Is it a ton? Well, not a ton, but it's an okay amount. It's a supplemental income for me and my business. So this channel, DSPGaming, works well because we've got these nice streams where people support, and I've got residual ad income, okay? The React channel does not have that. The React channel barely makes anything on ad revenue. Why? Because when we do React content, most of the time, whoever the original video is from claims all my videos. Should they be able to? No, but they do. So because of that, I don't make much or anything on any of the videos on that channel after the fact. It's really about basically the live streams and memberships. So if you enjoy the fact that I break up my content to do React stuff once a week, please support it. And what we're going to do is after the stream ends, everyone's going to jump over to the React channel. And once you're over there, maybe consider becoming a member. If you become a member, you nominate the clips for every show every week. Maybe consider gifting some memberships. That would be great if you could give some memberships to the channel. Maybe a super chat or, a tip. That would all be appreciated. I'm only doing this podcast and that show today. There's no late stream. So if you could support this stream, that would really help because I'm not doing full-time streaming today. I have to do the private stuff behind the scenes, okay? So please consider it. Thank you in advance to anyone who does support the content. I really do appreciate that. So that's the stream today. We'll all head over there. We have a good time reacting to Christmas-themed stuff. Hopefully it's a good supported stream. And no stream tonight because I'm filming the private React stuff for patrons. Tomorrow, Monday the 11th, is a big day. Because after 4 months. 4 months. Not 1, not 2, not tres, but cuatro. Cuatro months. Okay, I forgot the word for months in Spanish. I'm sorry. But after 4 months of people hyping up the fact that they wanted me to play Baldur's Gate 3, after everyone not asking, but demanding that I play this game, screaming at me that if I don't play Baldur's Gate 3, my Game of the Year awards will mean absolutely nothing because so many people are saying that Baldur's Gate 3 is the best RPG of all time and basically the best Game of the Year by a mile, how could I possibly have a Game of the Year awards countdown unless I play it? In addition, the game swept the Game Awards just a couple days ago, winning pretty much every major award that it had, including Game of the Year, right? And so, with all of that happening, and finally now having an opening in my schedule, because there is no major game release for about a month, right? For about 1 month, we probably don't have any major releases. So if I were to start playing a game like this, now would definitely be the right time, okay? So it's like, it's now or never, because if I don't do it now, it's going to be a long time before I get to jump into it. Early next year is one of the busiest early year schedules ever, starting in like mid-January all the way through like February, March. Tons of game releases. So if I don't do this, this playthrough now, or start the playthrough now at least, it's very unlikely that I would get to play it for ages, right? So we're going to see what happens starting tomorrow on my main stream on PlayStation 5. All right, we're going to start it up. We're going to make a character. We're going to play this game. We're going to see what it's all about. I have absolutely no idea what to expect because I have not spoiled myself at all. And that's the fun part is I since I never really thought I was going to play it, I never really researched it or did much about it. I just listened to some of the feedback you guys gave me on the streams. That was about it. So I actually have no clue what to expect. And that's a good thing. If I'm surprised, I feel like that's going to go better. You know what I mean? I guess we'll see. I've said many things about this playthrough. I don't really want to talk about it again for like a millionth day in a row. But all I'm going to say is, be there. Don't miss it. People have hyped this up for 4 freaking months demanding that I play it. I really hope that you're going to be there for it. For this big premiere. And hopefully for this playthrough, and it'll go well. I really hope so. Okay, we'll find out. It was donated, so there's no risk here. It's not like I had to drop $77 to play it, and then I don't like it. If I don't like it, I don't like it. It's fine. At least I've tried it, right? Now, I just got asked in the chat by Ellipsian, well, does this mean that I'm going to delay my Game of the Year awards? No. My Game of the Year stuff, so I do 3 year-end series this year. Usually it's 2. Usually it's Game of the Year and the most disappointing games of the year countdown. This year, we also have a third one going on. We didn't get to it yet, but it's the Best of 2023 Viewers' Choice event where you guys are nominating your favorite playthroughs of the year. So what we're going to do is those 3 events will start likely the first week of January. Okay? I'll start making time on like night streams to do them. And we'll have like one night stream will be this countdown, then one night stream will be this countdown. We'll go through it. We'll have a good time together with that. Okay? So that's the deal. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Baldur's Gate 3 starting this week. It will be part of the major schedule. So every week I'm going to be playing 6 to 9 hours of this thing for the next 2 to 3 weeks. And then by the beginning of January, I should be able to judge it fairly. No, I wouldn't have beaten it, but certainly I'll be able to tell you if I feel it's an outstanding RPG that deserves Game of the Year recognition, or if it's a game that's incredibly overhyped and everyone's just full of so much hype and hoopla and getting caught up, and so everyone's saying it's the best game ever, and it's really not that good. Maybe it's somewhere in between. I don't know. I don't know until I play it. I'm going to go in with an open mind, right? So, no, I am not at all going to be doing anything in regards to changing my schedule or whatever. I mean, why would I delay my year-end series to, like, when I finish the game? Then it probably won't happen until, like, June. So, no, we're not doing that, okay? Cool. All right. Okay, so I'm excited. I hope that you guys are excited, too. Tomorrow, Baldur's Gate 3 starts on the first stream. Why I'm holding up my stress ball egg right now, actually it's a hand exerciser. Why I'm holding this up, I have absolutely no idea, except I'm using it. So I felt like maybe I would hold it up for you guys just to show you what I'm doing. I'm playing with my hand exerciser egg, which I need as I'm getting older. I'm going to have to use this more and more because of arthritis and problems in my joints. Being a lifelong gamer, I'm going to have these issues. Okay? Looks like a dragon's egg. You think so? This is the high resistance one. So this is the one that you use for the most resistance to really strengthen your hand. Okay. And then tomorrow night, I'm excited for the late stream tomorrow night as well, because on Monday night, it is Street Fighter 6, and it is Master Run with Dalsim. I am only less than 500 ranking points away from hitting Master rank with Dalsim. And not only am I excited to hit Master, I actually am excited to jump into my first matches as Master rank. Because what I found is that it seems to me in Street Fighter 6 that Dalsim is a character that most people have no clue how to fight against when he's competent. You know, a shitty Dalsim, people are going to beat. But when you kind of know what you're doing and you know the strategies or whatever, I've fought multiple Master rank people with my Dalsim and beaten them. I've beaten Master rank people in casual play. I beat a Master Marisa last stream, easily perfected her, and she ran away after the one match, couldn't take it. I was like, that's absolutely hilarious. So I feel like my Dalsim might actually do better than all the other characters I've gotten to Master because people just don't know what to expect because no one's really good with this character. Very few people. So I'm excited for Monday night. Not only do I want to hit Master, but I want to see how well I do in Master, and we'll go from there, but it should be fun, okay? Now, Tuesday, we will swing back to RoboCop Rogue City on the daytime stream. 3 more hours. I don't know where the game's going to go because we just finished a major segment. I don't know what the next major segment will be, but that'll be fun to figure out. And then Tuesday night will be more like a Dragon Gaiden, okay? Then Wednesday, which is my final consecutive streaming day this week, it'll be my second session ever of Baldur's Gate 3, and that'll be paired with a late night session of Call of Duty. Now, do you guys want to see more Warzone, or do you maybe want to see me do a one-off night stream of multiplayer? I'll leave that open to you. You can decide. We'll talk about it over this week. You know, I did a Warzone stream already. Do you want to see another one? Are you tired of it already? You want to see maybe some multiplayer for variety? We can figure that out, but I want to do that on Wednesday night to mix things up. Okay? So that's the streaming week. Next week will be a balance. Baldur's Gate 3, RoboCop, Street Fighter 6, Like a Dragon Gaiden, and some Call of Duty. We're going to have 5 games in the mix for now. Okay? And that's a good thing. It's a good variety. Also, let's talk about all the upcoming events. Christmas event. We've already talked about it, but let's hammer down your interaction with it because we haven't talked about this yet. So on Saturday, December 23rd, it is my annual Christmas marathon. Once a year, we get together for festive vibes and fun all day long. This year will be no different. I'll be dressed up in various holiday-themed attires. I will be drinking. Likely some eggnog, maybe some whiskey, other things during the day. There will be food. I'll order some food for a live feasting with Phil meal, and there may even be a special video near the end there where I try like a festive Christmas treat that I get from a local store called World Market. I try to do this every year and get something that's like a variety treat and try it out as like a DSP tries it holiday themed, okay? But in addition to that, this year we've got the schedule update, meaning we're going to go through all the games of next year that have dates and hammer in the schedule so you guys know what games exactly I'm playing and when. In addition, we're going to do a holiday tier maker where I rank all of these holiday movies and specials and games. 3 games. 1 game will be selected by channel members. 2 games will be selected by the common viewer. How do you select these? Well, if you're a channel member right now, head over to the main channel page of DSP Gaming in the members tab, and you'll find the poll right there. It's a thread. Post up your nominations, the game that is most nominated by members will make it into the marathon. Then, if you're not a member, or you are a member, but you also want to participate in the open nominations, you still can. Type !Christmas into the chat. The link will pop up. Click on that link. That is the thread. Submit the games you want to see during the Christmas event. And what I'm going to do is within about a week's time, probably a week and a half, we'll tally up those nominations. And then for a couple days, you guys will vote on the most nominated games. And the top 2 will make it into the event. So 3 games, schedule update, holiday tier maker, feasting with Phil, holiday DSP tries it, drinking, attire, fun, festive vibes all day long. I cannot wait. I absolutely love my Christmas marathon. I'm excited for it. I love doing this every single year. Okay? Then, the other event that I already mentioned is the Best of 2023. So this is a special event where you guys are nominating your favorite playthrough that you saw on this channel all year long. All right? And to nominate, you type !Best of 2023. And that'll bring you to the thread where you can post up. And people have been nominating, for the last week and a half. Keep that going. And what'll happen is probably by the end of the month, probably like the very end of December, I'm going to look at the most nominated games and toss them into a poll. Maybe like a top 10 poll. And you guys will vote. And then we're going to have a countdown of your favorite playthroughs of 2023 along with my year-end series. That'll be around the first week of January. Okay? So, get to it. Nominate, please. Keep up nominating games, and please keep nominating your favorite playthroughs. I mean, and this is also pretty cool, because here's the deal, all right? Unlike other game awards series, I actually do my awards after the year's ended. So, for example, right now, I'm about to start Baldur's Gate 3. Maybe for some people, my Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough will end up being their favorite playthrough I did all year. So, nominate it. Right? Once it starts, go and nominate it, right? I mean, it's a no-brainer. Some game awards already happened, so how can you nominate stuff for them? Right? See what I'm saying? Okay. Anyway, sounds good, right? So, that's the schedule. I hope that sounds good to all of you. That's what I'm planning for the next, rest of the month. And then come January, once we've gotten the schedule update during the Christmas marathon, we'll know what to expect for the next several weeks into January, and then we can plan other things around it. How long will I be playing Baldur's Gate? How long will I be playing multiplayer games, etc.? We'll get from there. All right. So, guys, that's what I got for this morning. I think what we will do is perhaps we will jump into the suggestion box for a little bit. We haven't done this in a while. So maybe we'll jump in the suggestion box and see what suggestions you guys have had. We'll read through a few of those and respond. But first, I have to blow my nose. Ugh. Oh, great. Well, that went well. Well, you know what they say. 'Tis the season for nosebleeds. With all the dry air in the house from the heat pumping constantly, I get nosebleeds sometimes when I blow my nose, and I do it, and there you go. So now I got to do the show like this until it clots. Isn't that nice? All right, everyone. So let's continue with the podcast, shall we? Let's get to suggestions. The suggestion box. All right. So. Oh, you're saying there's a troll in the chat? Oh, okay. What, did they speak up when I was blowing my nose? Let's see. You're right, he's an idiot. He's not, I don't even think he's a troll. I think he's just a dunce, so let's get him out of there. There you go. Get his nice dunce cap on his head and get him out the door. Very nice. Okay, let's open the suggestion box, shall we? Okay, so, continuing on with the suggestion box, okay? Here we are. Here we go. Get ready. We're actually continuing right where we left off from, I think, last week. Okay? Number 1, this is someone who had multiple suggestions. Suggest themes for DSP Reacts. This will prevent the same types of videos from being in the rotation. For example, the Sunday before Halloween go with horror. We were doing that, right? We had a whole month where we suggested horror, and that worked for Halloween. And now we have a month where it's Christmas stuff for Christmas. It's working. So, great suggestion. Already in effect. Good one. Let's continue. Excuse me. Take control of your content more. Seems like you're always going for games that are new and safe. Think of any games you're curious about. What's been sitting in your backlog that you haven't touched? What are your gaming blank spots? So, what's interesting about this is, although it may appear from an outsider's perspective that's the case, here's the real truth of the matter. There's just too many games that I like that I can't play them all, right? And even though you say, well, you always play what's new and safe. Really, if you take a look at my rotation right now of what I'm playing, okay? So let's go through every game, all right? So yesterday, I played Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 Warzone. Fair enough. That's new. It's a new mode. You could say it's safe, I guess. But I'm not necessarily going to play that at length. It depends on how many people like it. But it's something multiplayer for variety for the streams. But fair enough. Maybe that's something that eventually won't even have longevity. Like a Dragon Gaiden. Like a Dragon Gaiden is a game that I have in my rotation. It doesn't get a ton of views. It doesn't necessarily always get a ton of support. Sometimes it does, but not always. That's kind of my laid-back game to break up my content, to have a good time and interact with my viewers. It's for me and for those who like the chill atmosphere, but that's not my mainstream audience. I get barely 200 viewers on a stream for that. So in line with, oh, you only play what's new and safe? No. That game is the most unsafe. It doesn't get as much support. It doesn't get as many views. So that's not even in line with what you're saying. Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 6, was new in June, and it was hot. It hasn't been hot for months, ever since the summer season ended of tournaments. It doesn't get the attendance or viewership or support that it used to. For over the summer, it got tons of support. Not anymore, but I play it because I have passion for fighting games. Now, admittedly, maybe I could play other fighting games too. I could play retro games and other stuff, but right now, this is the fighting game that for people who like my fighting game stuff, they attend, and it's not the new hotness. So I would agree with you in June or July or August. Now it's December. So I kind of disagree with you there too. I don't think I'm only playing what's new and hot right now. RoboCop. This is a game that I missed, and people suggested so much that I went back and tried. Literally, RoboCop is the kind of game you're saying I miss. You're right. But the thing is, when I am looking at all the games that are coming out in a time frame, if you look at when RoboCop came out, what else was out, right? I was playing 2-3 other games, juggling hot games like Alan Wake 2, which was a great game and one of my favorite games of the year. I'm not going to skip those games to play a game that went under the radar because no one knew it was even coming out, and then when it came out, it was good. You see? I understand what you're saying, but what you're saying isn't necessarily true. You're thinking, I just play every big game. That's not true anymore. In fact, I skip a ton of big games. I skipped Baldur's Gate 3, for God's sakes. And everyone gave me shit for it for 4 months. There was a time when the only games I played were giant games. That's true. The only games I played were the giant overhyped games. But I'm not one of these memer streamers that's only jumping on the hot trending game and then I drop it, right? Usually when I play a game, I end up playing it till completion. Okay? I understand. I totally get it. But that's from an outsider's perspective of someone who, either listens to the wrong people or you're just upset that I'm not playing smaller games that you like. And I get that. What I need is your suggestions. Like, for example, with RoboCop. The reason I'm playing it and really enjoying it right now is because of the persistence of my viewership, and I appreciate that. It's very hard to figure out what to try and what to play when there's all this competition. Today, there is such a saturation of video games that come out all at once. It's very hard to pick and choose which are the right ones. And I don't want to be in that situation where I overextend myself. Imagine if while I was playing Alan Wake 2 and 2 or 3 other games, I also, I'll play RoboCop 2. Now I'm juggling 8 playthroughs. I would still be playing Alan Wake 2 now. I wouldn't have even finished it yet, right? That would have upset everybody. So, I hope you understand the situation I'm coming from. But what I will say and take away from your suggestion is this. Please continue to suggest the gems that I missed. If there are lesser known games, not highly publicized games that you feel are good, I want to know about them. And I want to give them a shot when I get a chance. That's exactly what I'm doing with RoboCop, and I'd like to keep that up. Let's see if my nose has stopped bleeding. Yes. Yes, thankfully. Good. Okay. And by the way, I will shout out contributions as they come in, just so you guys know. I right now I'm focusing on the suggestion box, which is why I'm not really responding or saying anything to any contributions, but I will in a minute. Okay. Suggestion number 3, review copies, chase them. Your audience is big enough, most publishers aren't picky. It's a good way to broaden your gaming horizons. There's more stakes involved when someone is providing a copy specifically for your opinion. Just be more open about games you might want to look at and will bring actual variety. All right. I know exactly how the review copy system works because I know people in the system. I know people who've explained it to me over the years. And there's a particular reason why I don't involve myself in that system, okay? If I had review copies of games, all right, it's a good thing. Here, let's address the actual pros and cons of review copies, shall we? Let's do that. That's actually a good thing we should do, okay? So, first of all, how do review copies work? What happens is you need to contact, usually not the company that makes the game, but typically there are these third-party PR or marketing firms that are actually hired by major publishers and the like to promote games. So what you need to do is get onto their mailing lists, and you need to be a part of them. And then as new games are coming out, you contact them and let them know, hey, just so you know, I'm a content creator, and here's my channel, and here's my reach, and I'm interested in playing your game, and here's why. And you can do all that stuff. Basically, you put your name out there, and you got to schmooze a little bit, okay? Typically, if you are a content creator that brings in a certain amount of views a month, you can get review copies of a lot of different games. Not every game. And by the way, no, they're not going to send you collector's editions of every game or whatever, but usually you can get some review copies of games, all right? Likely, and I'm not exaggerating here, probably in a given year, of all the games that I play and buy, probably, I'm not kidding, half I could get review copies of if I became a schmoozer in the industry. But what does that mean exactly? I'll tell you exactly what that means. If you want to be a schmoozer in the industry, you have to watch what you say. You have to walk on eggshells. You actually have to censor yourself. Okay? Allow me to give you some examples. Let's say I'm playing a review copy of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. And right now I'm playing it, and it lags up. And because of that, I lose a match. And we even watch the kill cam. And it shows on the kill cam that even though on my end, I shot the guy 5 times and then I died instantly, and then we watch the kill cam, and the kill cam says, oh, you never fired your weapon. He shot you instead. I have to bite my tongue and say, well, that's unfortunate. Because if I'm honest, right, and this is a review copy of that game, and I say, what the fuck is that bullshit? You can clearly see on the kill cam, that's not what happened on my side. That's a horrible latency issue. That netcode is shit, and these game developers really did a poor job this year. You can't say that if you get a review copy of a game. You just can't. Because once you do that, you get flagged. You get flagged as someone who is a person that you don't want to be giving freebie stuff to, because this person could make your game look bad. Now, did I make the game look bad? No, they did. They made the game. They're the ones that made the game laggy as shit, not me. But because I'm telling the truth, okay, sadly, I am now going to get into a situation where I get flagged, all right? And you might say, well, that's ridiculous. So you can never criticize a game? No, that's not what I'm saying. You absolutely can criticize a game. You can even get a review copy of a game and review it negatively, and that's fine. But you have to be, how do I say, PC about it. You have to basically not be mean. You have to tiptoe around. You do. Because if you are an honest person who gets emotional, like I tend to do, in the heat of the moment, I'll yell at a game or I'll whatever. They don't like that, all right? They want you to be Mr. or Mrs. PC. They want you to be completely, oh, you're not going to swear at the game. You're never going to say a negative word about the management or the game developers. You're never going to criticize the netcode. You're never going to do, all you're going to say is, oh, I didn't like that part. You have to be so blah, all right? Take a look at the people who regularly are getting free copies of games and watch their playthroughs and watch how blah they are. Watch how they bite their tongues when it comes to a part of the game that they really want to criticize, and you can tell they can't. I've seen it firsthand because my wife and I watch other content creators, and a lot of them are getting these review copies, and then they have to bite their tongues when they talk and play. Who the hell wants to do that? For what? So I don't have to pay $60, $70 to get the game, but now I can't be me? Now I have to be PC, Phil, and censor myself and not be honest about my opinions about the game because they're going to get pissy if I say something that they don't like, right? That's number one. That's the number one reason I don't do review copies is that. The number two reason I don't do review copies is because of review embargoes, all right? So review embargoes are bullshit. What they'll do is they'll send you a copy a week or two ahead of time, but then they'll say, you're not allowed to stream or put this game out until the day before, right? What that means is that if they allow you to actually do any content, you can't give your opinion. There's actually been cases where content creators are given a copy of a game early and you can stream it, but you cannot criticize it. Because if you do, you've broken the review embargo. Wait, what? So you want me to stream a game early to give you free promotion, essentially giving you free publicity for this game, but I'm not allowed to say a word about how I feel about it. Right. Well, by the way, if you kiss the game's butt, that's okay. We're not going to care. But if you say something negative, you broke the review embargo. Huh? This has happened. I remember years ago, this was one of the big arguments I got into about this was, what was the zombie survival game? State of Decay 2. So State of Decay 2 contacted these big YouTubers and Twitch streamers and gave them copies of the game early. They played it a week early. And then when people were watching their streams, were actually like tweeting them, well, why aren't you telling us what you actually think about the game? Oh, because there's a review embargo. I can't do that. So you could stream the game and give them free promotion so everyone thinks the game's good because you can't say it's not. But, I mean, what is that bullshit? Right? I don't play that game at all. So if I got early copies of the game, I wouldn't even play it early. I'd only be playing it once the game's out anyway because I'm not going to play the review embargo bullshit game like a lot of these fucking people do. I think it's horseshit. I'm not going to give you free promotion for your game when I don't even know if it's good just because you gave me an early copy. That's ridiculous. Okay? So that's just two of the reasons. There's many more reasons. You know, I've talked about, excuse me, the fact that, I hate to say it, but there is this very elitist grouping where these game publishers particularly will whitelist their favorite content creators because of the whole review copy system. And they'll give them exclusive access. They'll do this, they'll do that. Because of the whole review copy system, all right, what ended up happening was when I started on YouTube, there was none. No content creators, no YouTubers got games early at all. Zero. So what would happen is, basically, you would have to go out and buy the game just like everyone else. You'd play it at the same time as everyone else. You'd make content on the game the same time as everyone else. So if you were a hard worker who would run out to buy the game at midnight and you come home and immediately start playing the game and get those videos up on YouTube or get that live stream going, you'd be rewarded for your hard work. You understand? And you could be honest and you could say whatever you wanted about the game because you bought it. So if the game sucked, you'd be the first person to say it sucked. If the game was great, you'd be the first person to say it's great. And that was what I prided myself on. I was one of the hardest workers on YouTube to run out and be the first to get that playthrough on the internet. And that's what got me a lot of my notoriety and views over 10, 15 years ago. That's what I was known for on YouTube. DSPGaming, the channel where you get that day one playthrough and everyone figures out if the game's good and then they could go out and get it out for themselves or skip it if they think it looks like shit, depending on what Phil thought, right? That went away with the review copy system because now what happens is these publishers handpick the most PC gamers out there to receive copies of their game first. They're allowed to stream and put playthroughs of the game up early So their playthroughs become the only opinions people hear before the game comes out. Therefore, of course, those people are going to say the games are good, so they will continue to receive early copies in the future. It's an endless cycle of butt kissing. You're the biggest butt kisser who's PC. You keep getting the games. You keep kissing the games, the butts of the games, so you keep getting more games. So you get day one views, early views, before day one views. You get all this money because you play the games early. And it's this endless cycle that should not be allowed, and it's elitist, and it's bullshit. And it endlessly does it over and over and over. It just never ends, okay? And I don't support that cycle. I'm an adamant critic of that cycle. I don't think that we need review copies at all. I think that anyone who wants a game copy should go out and buy it, just like everyone else. And, you know, you get your opinion out there on the internet, just like everyone else. No one should be some specially selected golden snowflake who gets their opinion that stands above everyone else's because they were selected by the publisher to play it first. That's horseshit. And, you know, you can't stop it because that's the industry. Just like any other industry. Movies, TV, music, they do that, and now games does it. And this is what happens when you believe people who are talking head bullshitters who are PC fucking actors. Instead of actually trusting people who are genuine, people sadly started just believing anyone who got the games first. So now, that's the industry we have. You get a bunch of fake people who are basically paid shills. And I say paid, when I say that, I mean they're not being directly paid to say good things about the game. But because they have this cycle where they get the game early, they get to play it early, they make tons of money playing it early and kissing its butt, they are getting paid. Just not by the publisher, but through early access to that game, they're making money early. And because of that, that cycle will never end. It's an unbreakable cycle of bullshit now. I don't believe in that system, nor do I support anyone who actively goes out of their way to constantly get early review copies so that they can break the game to the internet and make tons of money on early views. It's bullshit. It's an unfair practice, first of all. It shouldn't be allowed. And it's completely immoral. It's completely dishonest. Because you know, even if you could say, well, I trust that content creator to be honest. Well, guess what? They have incentive to be positive. Do you not understand that? They literally have incentive to say the game is better than it is because that continuously supports them and their content and their business. So even if you trust them, they're not trustworthy. It doesn't matter. They will always have that feeling of, if I say the game's better than it is, I'll likely get more stuff from this publisher later, and therefore I make more money. And that will never go away, you know? And so I could be a part of it. I could literally be a part of that vicious cycle of promotion and dishonesty and positive gain for this channel and my business. And I refuse. I could have done it years ago when this was becoming a huge thing. I had friends in the industry, people who were games journalists and other things, and they said, so here's how you do it, and we want you to do it. I said, no, I'm not going to do that. That doesn't look right. And they actually couldn't understand. They were like, what? Why on earth wouldn't you want to do that? This is what everyone else is starting to do now. I said, I'm not going to do it. It goes completely against the moment that I started recording and putting videos up on YouTube, was that I wanted to give my honest, silly, but honest improv commentary on what was going on in the game. And if I think the game sucks, I'm going to say it. I'm not going to sugarcoat. I'm not going to kiss ass. And I'm not going to artificially censor what I'm going to say because of personal gain. Well, you have to play the game and then you'll get all the games for free early. No, I refuse. A lot of people don't get that. It's the same thing when I turn down $50,000 to be on a podcast I don't stand for. Okay? It's the same premise. It's the same thing that I refuse to have advertisements for products and paid product placements and paid promotions on my streams. There's a reason for that. Because I stand for something different than most other content creators. I refuse to play their game. Am I suffering for that? Yeah, I am. I know that I could be bigger. I could be in the industry and be buddy-buddy with game journalists and game publishers. I know that I could be much bigger than I am. Why do you think I've been around for 15 years and I'm still where I am? Because I've chosen to stay here because I want to be honest and be okay with myself. I can sleep at night knowing that the content I put out is not a paid advertisement, and I'm okay with that. Get it? Okay. So there you go. That's why I don't do the review copy things. I could easily be a part of that. Easily. It's not hard at all. All you need to do is put in the legwork, and you need to schmooze. And I'm not doing the schmoozing. I refuse. And if you don't like that, that's fine. You don't have to understand it, but understand that that's why I am where I am, you know? That's why when a new game is coming out and sometimes things are tight, I have to ask for some help. That's why right now, like, people were like, will you play Baldur's Gate 3? And I was like, right now, I can't afford it. Like, I literally have bills I need to pay in the next week before I get paid by YouTube this month. I can't drop $77 right now on a video game. I can't. I can't afford it. And then someone said, well, I'll donate Baldur's Gate 3. Okay, then I'll play it on Monday. I'm down for that. Sounds good to me. You know, but that's the reality. And that's the difference between being someone who's true and honest and loyal to their viewer base and never going to sell out versus someone who literally will just kiss ass so they never have to be in that situation. Well, I'm not going to kiss ass. Sorry. I'll be honest about everything I do, and I'll be the man on the island sitting alone doing my content for the audience that wants it. I don't have to be in that big schmoozing industry. You know, it's kind of like there's the group who's an in-group at the Oscars, and they're all the actors are schmoozing and all the directors are schmoozing. But then you got people who still like to make movies, but they don't want to be a part of that shit. So they're over here by themselves. Did they get invited to the Oscars? Fuck no. But they don't care. Because at least they still get to make stuff that they like, and they have a viewer base for it. So who cares if they're rewarded or recognized or not? You know, right now, are you not aware, there's people on YouTube having YouTube anniversaries, and YouTube Gaming posts up on social media the anniversary of this gaming channel, this gaming channel. Do you think they ever have posted an anniversary for me? No, because I'm not a schmoozer. If I was a schmoozer in the industry and I was buddy-buddy with the publishers and buddy-buddy with the journalists, they'd be posting up my anniversary too. But they're not going to because they don't like me. They don't like honesty. They want butt kissing. They're never going to get it from me. Okay. Let's see here. Purge your podcast. Once a week for your podcast is enough. I really see how daily news segments are scratching the bottom of the barrel. We don't even do daily news segments. You provide your schedule everywhere. Don't keep reiterating it. Game more, talk less. Well, this is hilarious to me. Just look, we're 3 days into this week, correct? What have we done so far? We had an entire day talking about the Game Awards. The whole podcast was about the Game Awards. If I didn't do a podcast that day, literally all the gameplay I did on Friday would have been bombarded with questions about the Game Awards, and we never would have been able to make any progress. Right? Yesterday was an open Q&A day. Arguably yesterday, if there was going to be a day when we could have skipped the podcast, it would have been yesterday. Okay, fair enough. Today we're doing suggestions from the suggestion box. If I didn't do the podcast, we literally wouldn't be reading your suggestion right now and responding to it. So just the very fact that I'm reading your suggestion and responding to it shows you how wrong your suggestion is. There used to be times when I did not do this podcast, all right? And basically, that's exactly what happened, is I would turn the stream on and I would start to talk with my audience, and we'd do it for like maybe a half an hour, 45 minutes, and then we would jump into gameplay. Everyone, oh, here's a question here, question here, question. It would be all derailed. How do you play a narrative-based game, right, if it's just constant questions being thrown at you? What about today? Today I'm doing a React stream. There's not even opportunity for me to answer questions on the React stream because I'm reacting to clips. It's not a gameplay stream. So how would I even answer anyone's questions or have any social interaction with my audience if I got rid of the podcast, right? Well, everyone wants something different. This person particularly just doesn't like the podcast. They just like my gameplay. Then watch the gameplay. There's tons of it, right? In a given day, there's 5 or more hours of gameplay that I put out on DSPGaming. That's not enough for you? You want even more than that. 5 hours a day of something for free isn't enough for you, apparently. Tell me another entertainment medium that will provide you with 5 hours of free content in every day, right? Without fail, on a schedule that I'm adhered to. I'm one of the most prolific, dependable guys on the internet. But that's not good enough. Now you also want me to cancel my talk show that I like doing every day, which has meaning, right? The funny part about it is, well, we don't need to know your schedule. Well, if we didn't have these discussions, I wouldn't be playing Baldur's Gate 3 on tomorrow, because this came from us talking and determining what would come next and having this discussion on the podcast. And then we determine Baldur's Gate 3 on Monday. So if I had no podcast, no Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough. Are you okay with that? Do you see what I'm saying? But that's the thing. What you want to do is focus in on this little thing. Oh, well, you just have news segments that aren't very good. Yeah, we do them every once in a while. And usually there's interesting news to talk about 2 or 3 times a week, maybe not. But we always have something to do on the show. Every once in a while, it's nice to just have a show without a direction. And then we ended up having a good show that's just chill, right? But this show has actually allowed me to have some relevance outside of the realm of just playing video games. Do you understand that? Like, because I do a talk show every day, we can talk about topics, we can talk about news, we can talk about games in general, we can talk about the TGAs, we can do all this stuff, and people don't have to sit there and watch part 37 of a random playthrough to hear my thoughts about the TGAs, right? People don't have to spam me with tagged comments in the chat when I'm trying to play RoboCop to say, hey, play Baldur's Gate 3, because we had a discussion about it and determined we would do it on the podcast. Again, I don't know how many times I have to explain, but what I think the problem is that we have a culture on the internet of people who are very demanding and want instant gratification for what it is that they want, right? So in this case, I really feel like this is a person who really enjoys the gameplay, and I appreciate the suggestions here, but they just don't like the talk portions. Then don't watch the talk portions. You don't have to. It's 2 hours a day that I do this show, right? Hour and a half. Then there's 5+ hours of gameplay. So watch the gameplay. No one's forcing you to watch the show. Does it really bother you that much that I do a talk show every day? Really? And by the way, again, are you liking the fact that I'm going to play Baldur's Gate 3? Because if you are, it's the talk show is the reason I'm doing that. You understand that? You just can't convince some people. Some people are just not happy no matter what you do. They just always want it their way. Well, I specifically like everything here. I absolutely don't like this. So you better give me this immediately and not give me... You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, you can't win in that situation. I'm not going to be able to cater to every single person, right? I'm not. So, you know, sorry that I can't. But I'll do my best to try to at least do variety content. The other thing is about this show, and I actually said this when I started it. The real reason that this show started is diversification. I'm getting older. Okay? I'm getting older, and as I get older, I'm not going to be able to do full-time gaming anymore. I know that. As I get I'm actually shocked. Absolutely shocked that this year I was able to play Street Fighter 6 at the capacity that I've played it. Because I'm 41 years old. I told you, I have carpal tunnel that is actually starting to build in this hand. When I go like this, when I reach this point, this hand is nice and this hand is tight. I have carpal tunnel and it's getting worse. And why do you think I was using this right here today? Because it's just going to get worse and worse the older I get. Eventually, in the next 10 years, I'm probably going to have to reduce the amount of games I play. I'm not going to be able to play as much. When I was playing with certain characters like Chun-Li and Aki in Street Fighter 6, I can't even play with them. My hand hurts because there's so much, you have to do stance changes and shit. I can't do it. I'm shocked that I'm able to do it at the capacity that I did. I really am. And as things get like that, get older, I gotta accept the fact that I'm getting older and I'm not gonna be able to do as much stuff. I might either have to play more relaxing games that aren't as control intensive, right? Or I'm gonna have to do other content. This show is part of that other content. The fact that I do a daily talk show every day and I relax with you guys and we talk about these kind of topics is a great thing. Because now I'm known that I do a podcast as well as all my gaming, right? So I have people who watch this show, and a lot of people actually watch this show and not the gameplay. They say as much. I like Phil's podcast. Every day I turn it on when I'm at work or when I'm on my commute or when I'm relaxing at night. I just listen to it, and I get to gel, and it's something I depend on every day. If he doesn't do it, I'm disappointed. That's cool. And I understand? That's good. That diversification is good. As I get older, there will be more diversification. Likely, we're going to get into other heavy talk topics. Things that other YouTubers who were desperate for attention and had absolutely no pertinence or relevance to anything around them anymore, they had to get into politics and religion and to run into the controversial topics right away because they're fucking rubes. They have no fucking skills. They have no fucking, anything to offer, so you just have to go right to the controversial drama shit, right? Eventually, one day we'll get there, I feel. Like, we will actually intelligently talk about those kind of topics, and I actually look forward to it. It's just sad that right now we're not at that point. There's so many people who are so divided on those topics that if you try to talk about them, you have to be polarized one way or the other, and if you're not, everyone hates you. And if you're polarized this way, the other side hates you. And if you're polarized this way, this side hates you. And I don't want to do that to my audience. I don't. I think one day we will get there. I feel like one day we'll get there. We'll be able to talk about those topics. I just don't think that we're ready for it yet, or that the internet's really ready for it yet. Once I start seeing more rational thought come back to the fucking internet, instead of it just being this place where everyone attacks each other for bullshit reasons, then I'll consider venturing into those topics. And it may come within the next 5-10 years. We'll see. But for now, I like the fact that I get to play a variety of games, but I also get to do a react show, but I also do a daily podcast. It's called diversification. Instead of putting all your eggs in one basket, the basket of gaming, right? What if all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you can't play video games on the internet anymore? Well, I have a podcast I do, I have a react show I do, there's other content I can make. If I'm just doing gaming, you know what I'm saying? Then you're doing too much of the same. And by the way, when you do all the same all the time, it gets boring. It does. It gets boring to just do the same thing all day, every day. It gets monotonous. It becomes a grind. I don't want my job to be a grind. I want it to be something fun that I look forward to doing every day. And that's because of diversification. So again, out of these 7,000 reasons why this show makes sense, I can't believe there's still people to this day who think that this podcast shouldn't be made and I should be gaming even more than 5 hours a day. I think that's stupid and ludicrous. But that's my opinion. You can disagree. You have the right to disagree, but please respect my opinions on this and my rationale of why I'm not going to dump the podcast that's actually doing well. There are days, no exaggeration, there are days when all of my attention and support and engagement comes in during this show. And then when I start to play a game, everyone leaves. And I get no support for the rest of the stream. So what the hell are you talking about? Right? Okay, then. Let's continue. Actually, you know what? It's 12:15. So I think this is where we will call it quits for the suggestion box. And we will resume next time. All right, so that was good. Thank you for those suggestions. And we always get good discussion based around it, correct? We do. So thank you for that. All right, let's get the shout-outs, everybody. We start off today with Lil Shake and Bake, who did the first super chat of the day. So thank you to Lil Shake and Bake. Cool. Derek popped his 16-month anniversary as a member. Happy Sunday to Phil, Cookie, and Chestnut. Yes, thank you, Derek, for that. And good to see you. And then we had a moron who got banned for being a fucking moron. I mean, anyone who would even reference that has to be a mouth drooler. Let's continue. Let's see here. All right. So, hold on a second because, oh God, here we go again. For some reason, I have issues loading. Yeah. Well, while this attempts to load, if you guys want to ask me any questions, please tag me in the chat, and I will answer them. We'll do a little bit of Q&A back and forth here. I know that there's more contributions, but I'm trying to get this to load. It's being a pain in my ass. So, let's see what you guys want to chat about this morning. I'll just keep trying. Stupid thing. I'll give it like a 5-minute break. I'll go and try it again. Can you turn off reactions on the stream? I find them annoying. So do you mean this is something that's been going on for like 2 days or 2 days, 2 months, right? When people say reactions, if you don't know what this means, YouTube enabled this new thing. You can't see it on here. unless you're watching live. If you're watching live, you could see it. But if you're watching this on demand, you don't see it. Down here somewhere, near the bottom of the corner of the screen, or near the chat, or in the chat, I don't know exactly. Everyone's different. I guess it depends on if you're watching on the app, you're watching on the TV, you're watching on a desktop, whatever. There's this new thing that's called reactions. And what happens is when you're watching the stream, you can click on an icon. Okay? And when you click on that icon, you can select like different reactions. I think one of them is like a happy face, one of them is like 100, one of them is a heart. And what happens is when people click on them, oh, one's a party horn too. When you click on them, they appear like in the chat or on the screen, and they go blah, 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 blah. Now, do they mean anything? No, not really. They don't really do anything, honestly. I don't really know. I think people were saying that initially TikTok had shit like that, and so people liked it because on TikTok streams, people would do it all the time or whatever, so YouTube copied. I'm not surprised to hear that YouTube copied what someone else did. They do this all the time. They play catch-up. While everyone else innovates, YouTube stagnates, and then they try to play catch-up with everyone else and pretend like it was their idea when it never is. So in this case, is there any benefit to doing it? No. Does it add anything to the streams? No. At the same time, I haven't heard anyone complain about it until this morning. This person literally said, well, I find it distracting. Okay? If you guys collectively agree that those reactions are annoying or distracting, then I will turn them off. Alright? But I'd like your opinions on this. If you truly feel that it is collectively distracting, then I disable it. I have to manually disable them, though, because by default they're enabled. So that means every stream, I would have to manually disable the reactions. Alright? So let's get some feedback on that. If you guys like, or if you like or dislike reactions, let me know. And I'll field those for maybe a day or two, and then we'll make a decision. It doesn't affect me at all. It doesn't help. There's no stat for that. Like, because you clicked it, it doesn't help the stream or anything like that. It just exists to exist. So, Lil Shingenbake says, yes, TikTok has that. It boosts the streams onto other people For You page. No idea if you get this stream or... No, it doesn't count at all. There's no extra views. It doesn't count as a like. It just exists for the sake of exist. Again, it's YouTube trying to copy everybody else because everyone else surpasses them. And then they just like catch, oh, well, we could do that feature too. We could do that too. But then they don't really implement it in any way that really does anything effective. They just want to have it to say they have it. So they can say, oh, only TikTok has that. You see what I mean? Anyway, most people are saying it doesn't really bother them. No, there are no British restaurants in Washington State. Not that I've seen. I haven't seen a single one. Nope. Very rare that you'd see British cuisine in the United States, just being honest. I never see British restaurants in the United States. I don't know why that is. Maybe because we hate the British because of the Revolutionary War. I don't know. I mean, I'm just making that up. But I really have no reason. I mean, we love Gordon Ramsay and he's British. So it doesn't make sense that we love Gordon Ramsay, but we hate British food. I don't understand that. So, I don't know. But I've literally never seen one. I've never been able to buy or try British cuisine because I've never seen it available anywhere in my entire life. Yes, I saw the Star Wars Holiday Special ages ago. Red popped his... Oh, by the way, Jade is saying he's not feeling well. He'll be back tomorrow. All right, Jade, please feel better. I'll see you tomorrow. Sounds good. Red popped a 7-month membership notification. It says, will you play Apollo Justice Trilogy in January? Probably not. Don't think so. Games are way too long. Too much reading. There's going to be a ton of other new games coming out in January regardless that I'm going to want to play. Plus, I'm doing Baldur's Gate now, so it's probably a no. That's what I'm thinking. Okay. Do I have soccer bars in my area? No. Nope. Soccer or football is not popular in this area of the country. Most people don't talk about it. Here it's very heavy baseball and American football because we have the Seattle Mariners and we have the Seattle Seahawks. The two big sports teams are here. So that's what's big here. But no one really talks about football here, as they say. Football. Yes, it's always nostalgic watching movies from my childhood. I enjoyed it. I did watch Gremlins last night. So I will be reviewing Gremlins tonight. for my React channel, and yes, it's fun to do so. I've never been to Vancouver, Canada. The only part of Canada I've ever been to is Newfoundland, which is actually pronounced Newfoundland. I don't know what Dwarf Fortress is, so I don't know if I would play it. Yeah, Seattle Supersonics as well, right, but then they moved. Exactly. Sonic SLM says we have Sunday roast dinners, curry tiki masala, pasties, fish and chips. We have loads of food in Britain. Yeah, and I mean, I'm serious. I like variety of food. I'm the kind of guy that I don't even like to eat the same thing all the time. I love eating variety. One day I'll have Chinese food. One day I'll have Italian. One day I'll have American fare, barbecue, but then I'll go get Mexican. Then I'll get a pho from a Vietnamese restaurant, right? But then I'll get pad thai from a Thai restaurant. Then I'll get sushi, teriyaki, takoyaki, ramen, right? But then I'll get, you know what I mean? Like, I like diverse cuisine. I love that, actually. Hell, Hawaiian and Indian food are two that my wife and I started eating in the last few years and we absolutely love. And that's things you never would have even thought, kind of outside the box and super good. But I never see British food, ever. I've never seen a British restaurant. I've never seen it offered anywhere I've gone. Seriously. Carliga, I have zero interest in the finals. Really, again, it's another game that to me, I saw some people were streaming it months ago when it was in beta or alpha. It looks to me like a game it's for first-person shooter streamers. That's what it's made for. I don't even think it appeals to anyone else. If you're into that culture of the first-person shooter streamer phase team stuff, you play the finals. Oh, look, it's an alternative to Call of Duty. Good for you. I'm not looking for that. I'm not looking for another competitive FPS with these team-based mechanics and this and that. That shit doesn't appeal to me at all. I mean, the icon for it, the actual placeholder that they have for it, that advertises it, is a fucking ballerina. The finals starring this ballerina. What the fuck is that? Way to advertise your game. Wow, it really makes it appeal to me that you have a ballerina on your fucking artwork for your game that's supposed to be a competitive shooter. The fuck are you? You tell me. So, I don't really give a shit. Honestly. Again, there's a culture for it. There's definitely a community for it. I don't feel like I'm a part of that culture or community. Right? Same thing if they came out with a new RTS game that's all hot or whatever. I probably wouldn't care about that either. Right? It's the same deal. I'm not in that community. I'm not really giving a shit about it. So I don't really have much to say, and I'm not interested in it. Right? There's tons of people who are in that community who like that shit. They're into that streamer culture of FPS. Every game's FPS. I gotta watch Apex Legends. Gotta watch this person play Call of Duty. Gotta watch this person play Warzone. Gotta watch this person play the finals. Gotta watch this one play this one play that. I don't care. I do have two shits. It's boring to me. Honestly. Okay. Haha. 1 Minute Man tipped me $25 and says, I had a good workout today. I just had 5 hours of manually shoveling snow. 'Tis the season, as they say. Yes. For us, we've had a lot of precipitation recently, but it has not been freezing temperatures. So we've just got rain. And luckily, we avoided the snow. So far, anyway. Right? And we'll see if we can keep that up or not. But, for now, I'm sorry to hear that. Unless you really did like the workout. I never enjoyed shoveling snow. When I was a kid, the snow shoveling preceded the playing, right? Like, I would play in the snow after the snow was done, being shoveled, so there you go. So thank you, 1 Minute Man, for the first tip of the day. Now, guys, remember, this podcast is literally the only content I'm doing on DSP Gaming today besides the Daily Wrap later. And then after this, we're going over to the React channel to do DSP versus the internet. But only one stream today. That's it. So if you could support the stream, please do. I was hoping to get 5 members today. We got 0 so far. And I was hoping to hit the Tier 1 tips goal. And thank you to 1 Minute Man for getting us halfway there already. All right, cool. Why? Again, this fucking thing won't load. This is pissing me off. Okay. There we go. Jex Gaming says, turns out the Jurassic Park game coming out is a third-person shooter, even though the trailer makes it seem like first-person. Well, that's stupid. It 100% was it was a first-person trailer. So why did they present it as a first-person game if it's third-person? That's stupid as shit. Carliga, if you want an explanation of why we skipped Avatar, we talked about it on Wednesday's podcast last week, and it was almost the giant discussion of the podcast. I urge that you watch that one. We're not going to go into all the details of it because we literally went back and forth. We talked about the pros, the cons. So it would have been, what's today, the 10th? It's the 6th. December 6th podcast. Watch it. You'll get your answers. Very good. When will there be a fourth-person shooter? Good question. When will they break the fourth wall to make a shooter? We got about 10 minutes left to chill and talk, guys. So 10 minutes left for any Q&A before we swap over to the React channel. Do I have a passport? I had one for when I went to Newfoundland. And then it expired ages ago, and I haven't renewed it. But I could renew it, just... I'm sure today there's all new criteria and shit to do it. So it'd probably be a hassle. It was a hassle the first time to do it. It was a major pain in the ass. Now, why would I want spoilers for a new game I'm about to play? What a silly question. Why would you think I would want spoilers? Where would my first trip be if I renewed it? Nowhere. I don't have any money. I have no money to go on any trip. I wouldn't go nowhere, even if I had a passport. If I could travel anywhere in the world, where would I travel? Well, if money wasn't an issue... my wife has always wanted to go to vacation to Japan, and there was a time in my life when I wanted to go there, and then I never got to for various reasons. So, you know, maybe that. For me personally, I'd also like to go to Europe. I think that going to Europe and doing like a trip of the major countries and doing things there would be pretty nice. In fact, is there not a train that runs through many of the major countries, so you can maybe just like a day in one, go to the next, then a day in that one, go to the next day. You know what I mean? Like, I think that'd be really nice. You know, and eventually, I mean, I live so close to it, I would like to visit Canada and see what's up there. I think it would be Vancouver would be the closest area, right? So I'd like to maybe do that someday too. But, right, you know, it's not in the cards anytime soon. I'm still recovering, and it's funny because people are like, you know, I guess they were, you know, not believing me or something. When you go through a bankruptcy, like I did 3.5, 4 years ago, this is a process of a decade of recovery. You have to understand that. Like, it takes a decade to rebuild your life, your credit, all of that. I need to do that. I have to do the work. I have to wait and be patient, and I have to hold out. And I just don't have the ability. I don't have the freedom financially to do much. You know, eventually I'll get there if I stick to my guns and I don't screw everything up. But right now I'm in limbo. I'm in a situation where I have to just ride it out, and hopefully the economy gets better. It's another thing too. If the economy wasn't so bad in the United States, if inflation wasn't so bad, things would actually be going pretty good for me. But inflation has kind of ruined a lot of things for me too. So I just gotta ride it out, and eventually maybe I'll afford to be able to go on a vacation. But right now it's just not. It's not in the cards. So I don't think about this. I don't. Why? I'm a realist. Why think about things that you can't do? If I know I can't go on a big vacation, why think about going on a big vacation? Wait until it's feasible to do it, and then think about it and plan it and do it, right? I can't do it right now. You know, I can't. I told you guys, I didn't work the week of Halloween because I was so sick. I haven't recovered from that, right? So when I got paid in November, my pay was way less than what it normally would be because I missed out on many days when I was going to be making big money on YouTube, okay? So now I'm behind on shit, and now I'm trying to play catch up, which is why I wouldn't have been able to afford Baldur's Gate this week. You know, that's my life, and there's nothing I can do about it. That's what happens when you go through these financial problems. Things will get better eventually. but I have to stick to my guns. And you know, I understand. You look at someone like me. I'm a full-time content creator, and you sit on a stream and you see contributions come in, and you think, oh, this guy's probably rolling in dough and everything. It couldn't be further from the truth. You know, because of bad decisions that I made in the past, I'm paying for them every day. I still got obligations, agreements, and things that I'm paying off every single day, and it's going to be going on endlessly for a long time. And there's nothing I can do about that. That's just life. That's the reality of my adult life. And, you know, it is what it is. I'm not sitting here bitching about it, but it does irk me when people say things like, why don't you travel? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Of course I'd like to do that, but I'm not like your favorite YouTuber who sits there rolling in dough, right? Has 4, 5, 10 times more views than me, and has the freedom to go on vacation for a month and doesn't have to worry about, oh, I didn't make money this month. You know, I never will have that flexibility, probably ever in my life. So I'm more like you. I work my ass off. I made mistakes. I'm paying my debts, right? It is what it is. I don't have the freedom to just run away and do crazy stuff. I would love to, but I can't, you know? Okay. Any more questions that aren't related to travel that I can't do? That'd be nice. No, Mr. Bean's Holiday is not a Christmas movie. Mr. Bean's Holiday is about him going on vacation. Sonic SLM says, if I was self-employed, I'd move to a red state with low taxes. My state does have low taxes because there's no state income tax. What we have is a state B&O tax, business and occupation tax, which actually is very low. The sales tax out here is high, for sure, but that's only if you actively spend. If you're not actively spending a ton of money at stores and stuff, you don't pay the sales tax. When I lived in Connecticut, that was the worst. There was a state income tax, there was a high sales tax, everything was expensive as shit. It made no sense to live there. Moving out here actually made sense, you see. I was looking at red states. Like I was looking at Florida. I was looking at Texas. Problem with those states is the weather is atrociously bad. I don't want to be in a state where it's humid 90% of the time and I have to sit in air conditioning all day. I don't want to have to be in a state where you get insanely hot 120-degree summers and then they freeze in the winter and no one's prepared for it. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like I get it, but at the same time, I made the right decision. Where I live right now is kind of the best for my situation, because essentially I get moderate weather about 70% of the year. There is like 30% of the year is the summer, and the summer's hot now, and it didn't ever used to be, but that's changed because of global warming. But outside of that, like right now, I love the weather. It's cool, it's cloudy, it's rainy. It's perfect, and it lasts all the way from, say, October, November, all the way through, like, April. And it's not until, like, May that it starts to warm up, but then really the summer starts around, like, June, July, and then it's, like, July, August, September is very hot, right? But for the most part, the weather here is great. Everything is within a easy driving distance of my home. 30 minutes any direction, I can get anything I want. Literally anything under the sun, 30 minutes away. And out here, it's not as crowded. Like, because I live in Washington State, it's definitely not as crowded here as it's been many other places that I've lived. You know, in Connecticut, it was like packed in like sardines. It was so many people, you know. It was just way too overpopulated out there. And, you know, other major places are the same. This place is, basically, I moved to the place that is ideal for me. All right? But it's not perfect. It's ideal state for what I could afford and what I could do. Sure, if I lived in a red state where his taxes were lower, so there'd be lower sales tax, right? But there'd still be some kind of a business tax. I'd still have to pay that. There's no state that has like nothing. And then I have to deal with bad weather. So I'm not going to, you know, I think I'm in the best situation. All right, guys. Any last minute questions before we get ready for DSP versus the internet? This would be your last chance if you had anything to ask me or a comment or, you know, a contribution to get shout out or whatever. Did I get a haircut? No. I just ran my head through a series of razor blades. I was at the razor blade factory and I tripped onto the assembly line and it just said, you know, it cut all around my hair. Luckily, it didn't hit the skin. Do I like Dunkin' Donuts? When I was a kid, I loved Dunkin' Donuts. The donuts were fresh and absolutely delicious and big. And then over the years, they shrunk them down to this crappy product that sucks ass. Now, the funny part is when most people say Dunkin' Donuts today, they think coffee. Back when I was a kid, no one bought coffee at Dunkin' Donuts. It was only donuts that you bought there. So, today, would I get a coffee at Dunkin' Donuts? Probably not. Would I get a donut at Dunkin' Donuts? Probably not. But it's not a concern because there's no Dunkin' Donuts in Washington State. They don't exist. There is none. There's only, like, Starbucks and a ton of independent coffee shops, and that's it. There is no Dunkin' Donuts here. So. There's no Tim Hortons here. Doesn't exist. I told you, it's Starbucks or little indies places. That's it. That's all that exists out here. Krispy Kreme used to be amazing in the 2000s. I literally have not had a Krispy Kreme donut since the 2000s. So I have no idea if they're still good. They were amazing in the 2000s, though. What donut shop do I recommend? They don't have many. The only one out here is Top Pot Donuts. And they're pretty darn good. They have a ton of different flavors. They're freshly made donuts that are super tasty. That's the only one that you would really get out here. So. Yes, I am looking forward to more holiday-themed videos, of course, today. I like the themed stuff for sure. I think it's super fun to do themed content. Alright, guys. I think it's time to adjourn. I do want to say thank you to those who chilled and supported in any way. You know what's funny is it says that there was a new member, which makes no sense. Because both memberships show as renewals. And it's people... You know what that means? Someone did become a member this morning and didn't click their notice. That's what it means. So. Anyway. Alright. Guys, let's adjourn for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed the show. And we are now going to swing over to DSP Reacts together for a fun episode of DSP versus the Internet. Tomorrow is the big day. Tomorrow is Baldur's Gate 3. I'm very excited. Thanks to all of you hyping me up. I'm very excited for tomorrow. So I hope that you will all join me for Baldur's Gate 3 in the morning. Alright, but remember, I'm not here tonight. This is my only stream of the day on DSPGaming. I wish you all the best. I hope you have a good rest of your weekends if you're not going to join me for the React stuff. And, thank you very, very much for everything. Enjoy, and I will see you in the morning for the big one. Peace out. See you then.